Go ahead.
I lied. This is the last story.
Oh.
Since we're talking about basketball, I figured we can just
I know this story, and I've seen the comparison images.
Oh, okay.
You want to go ahead and explain this one, Will?
Well, there's these two iconic shots by LeBron and Michael Jordan, and it's 25 years apart, and you can kind of see based on these two photos the crowd and the difference. So obviously in Michael Jordan's era, there's no smartphones at all. It's just people smiling, happy.
And surprised and like super engaged.
He's going to get the basket.
Yeah.
You know, and then in LeBron's shot, it's all phones. If you can really look closely, it's literally everyone holding a smartphone.
They're all broadcasters. It's like we used to be so efficient. We could just enjoy ourselves and the cameraman could worry about getting the shot. Now we're all unpaid cameramen.
Yes.
With worse camera equipment.
Yeah.
So we can...
Just missing out on the moment.
So we can prove to somebody that this is our clip and we were there and hopefully impress someone. It's an odd... I understand the kind of feeling that you don't want the moment, that you want to capture the moment and you want to have your own clip, but I've been in situations like this, and I'm like more like the guy with the gray hair in the front row. And that's where my eyes gravitate. This guy probably been sitting there for years. I don't know. He might even be somebody you're supposed to know, but he's just watching. The guy's just watching. And interestingly enough, I mean, the other people who end up just watching are the people who work there. Like you can see the guys that work for the building over there on the right-hand side that aren't camera people, and they're actually just engaged watching it as well. Everyone else is having to deal with their sort of subpar version of it, looking at it through their phone screen.
Arms outstretched, trying to get the better shot. There
is another version of this photo, which is at a church. See if you can find it. It's extremely famous. Phones versus no phones, then and now. And you can put church. See if you can find it. And just go to Google Images. It's like a famous cathedral. Put cathedral instead of church. Oh, this is going to be impossible now. There it is. You found it. Yep. See if you can click on that. You can see 2005 versus 2013. There it is. This is the famous one. So this is cell phones in St. Peter's. I don't know what the event is. A far cry from the virtually camera-free piazza 8 years ago. So this is only an 8-year gap to showcase the prevalence of smartphones. You originally had the event in 2005, and everybody is captivated and watching and kind of there. And then you have the 2013 moment where it's just a sea of screens. It's no different at a concert or something like that. But you do have to ask yourself, what is the resolution difference? And by resolution, I mean your ability to enjoy the experience or your ability to even accurately discern what the experience is when you're sort of changing your viewpoint so significantly by placing this lens in front of it, this screen in front of it, this blockage in front of it, instead of being completely available for the experience. There's something. And I think some people will downplay it. Some people will overplay it. But the fact of the matter is, it is different. And there probably is some residual. There probably is some consequence to that we're living in a time now where everybody is capturing all the time, but they're capturing for a third party. They're capturing not for their own data bank, but for another one somewhere in the cloud. Yeah. Capturing on behalf of our future AI overlords. Ugh. Capturing so things can belong to a data set somewhere, because all those assets that came from that moment end up on the web, end up indexed, and who's it all for in the long run? I mean, there's a handful of people that make a living in this space, but it's certainly not everyone who's contributing these elements, who's transmitting this data.